They say your gut always knows before your heart catches up. But when you're in love, your gut voice gets drowned out by romantic playlists, cute good morning texts, and the memory of how his hand felt when it first touched yours. That's how it started for me. At a rooftop engagement party, under twinkling fairy lights and the hum of soft jazz, I met Chase. He was the type of man who made you feel like the only person in the room just by looking at you. A rare kind of confident, the quiet, composed type. The kind that made me feel safe. My name is Savannah Blake, and I thought I had found the man I was going to spend the rest of my life with. I was 27 at the time, just holding things together. I was working 2 jobs. One as a barista in the mornings and the other as a junior assistant at a local PR firm. After my dad walked out on us 2 years earlier, I moved back in with my mom to help take care of my younger brother, Noah. My mom worked long shifts at the hospital, and Noah was still struggling to adjust to life without dad. Life was a grind, emotionally and financially. So when Chase entered the picture, it felt like life was giving me a breather. He didn't just date me, he showed up. He picked me up from work when I had late shifts, remembered my brother's birthday, and brought my mom her favorite peppermint tea whenever he visited. He once spent an entire Sunday helping Noah build a science fair volcano and didn't complain once when it exploded early and stained his shirt. That's how he won me and my family over. We'd only been dating for 9 months when he gave me a key to his apartment. He said, "This place feels empty without you. I want you to feel like it's yours too." I cried. Not because I was unsure, but because I finally felt chosen. After all the years of being the responsible one, the fixer, the forgotten child after my dad left, here was someone who made me feel like a priority. At first, everything was perfect. We cooked dinner together, danced barefoot in the living room, binge-watched true crime documentaries until 2 a.m. I was falling fast and hard, but little cracks started to show. Not obvious ones. Tiny, barely their fractures. Like how he never let his phone ring when I was around. It was always on silent. He'd glance at it quickly and put it face down on the table. Or how he never invited me to his office holiday party, saying it was just for coworkers, even though his best friend brought his wife. He brushed it off with a kiss and a "next time, babe." And then there was the second phone. It was in the glove box of his car, buzzing quietly one night while we were driving to dinner. I picked it up, assuming it was his, and saw a different wallpaper, a different lock screen. When I asked him, he laughed it off, saying, "Work backup. You know, in case I lose the other one." I believed him. Love makes you rationalize the irrational. It tells you that loyalty means trusting someone even when things don't quite add up. And I wanted to trust him. Desperately. One evening, about 2 weeks before our 1-year anniversary, I decided to surprise him. I'd been putting together a digital scrapbook, our photos, sweet texts, memories, something he could look at and smile when he was having a rough day. His laptop was open on the kitchen table, screen still on. I just needed a few more pictures from our trip to Big Sur. That's when I saw it. 2 folders on the desktop. One labeled S Life, my name. The other labeled Scene Life. Curious, I clicked mine first. Photos of us, smiling in the sun, cuddled on the couch, my sleepy face after Sunday morning pancakes. All the memories I cherished were neatly stored there. Then I clicked Scene Life. I couldn't breathe. There she was. Camille. Same man, different woman. Same timeline. Romantic dinners. Getaways. Her birthday last month, he said he was on a work trip that weekend. Then came a video of them decorating a nursery. And a scanned image. A sonogram. I stared at the screen as my world collapsed around me. The man who told me I was his home was already building one with someone else. I sat on the cold hardwood floor for over an hour, trying to convince myself it was a misunderstanding. That maybe it was an old ex he hadn't deleted. But the dates, God, the dates lined up perfectly. While I was introducing him to my mom, he was attending birthing classes. Everything I thought was real suddenly felt scripted. Like I had unknowingly been cast as the other woman in a drama I never auditioned for. When he walked through the door, carrying Thai takeout and humming like nothing was wrong, I looked at him, and all I saw was a stranger. "Savannah," he said, seeing the laptop open. I stood, chest burning, and asked, How long have you been living two lives, Chase? He didn't answer right away. His face drained of color. Then came the rehearsed denial. Then the guilt-tripped tears. But it was already too late. Because in that moment I knew. This wasn't heartbreak. It was betrayal. And it was just the beginning. He stood there in our kitchen, my kitchen, the one I had scrubbed and decorated and stocked with his favorite snacks, trying to piece together a lie I would believe. Savannah, I didn't plan for this. I swear, it just happened. Camille and I were on the rocks when I met you. I thought we were done. His words spilled like gasoline, and I was already holding a match. You thought you were done? I echoed, staring at him in disbelief. You decorated a nursery with her last week, Chase. He looked down like a scolded child, but I wasn't here to comfort him anymore. I grabbed my coat, my charger, my journal, and the framed photo of us I had forced myself to believe was real. I didn't take everything, just the pieces of myself I needed to survive. Where are you going? He asked, voice trembling. To someone who doesn't lie to my face and call it love. I slammed the door and drove straight to my best friend Jada's apartment. She didn't ask questions. She just opened the door, pulled me into her arms, and let me cry until sunrise. I barely slept that night. My mind was running loops, rewinding every moment, every kiss, every inside joke, analyzing them like crime scene evidence. But the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was the comparison. Who was she? Was she prettier? More successful? Did he laugh more with her than with me? By mid-morning, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to see her, to know who she was, to know why he would build a life with two women and lie so effortlessly to both. I searched social media. It didn't take long. Her Instagram handle was public, tagged on his old hiking photo from last summer. I clicked. Her name was Camille Ross. She was an interior designer, based downtown. She posted a lot, clients, food, and more importantly, her pregnancy journey. She was 8 months in. In one post, she posed in a soft cream dress with a hand resting on her swollen belly. Chase's hand. He was smiling. Proud. The same exact smile he gave me when he first called me his girl. I kept scrolling. There was a photo of the two of them in matching pajamas with a caption that read, "Can't wait to meet our little miracle. Love you forever, babe." The photo was dated 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, he had taken me to dinner at a jazz club and told me he was looking at rings. I dropped my phone. This wasn't a fling. This was a full-blown double life. And somehow, I had been nothing more than a well-kept secret. A plan B. A backup for when his real life got complicated. That night, I did something I never thought I'd do. I messaged Camille. Not to fight. Not to tear her down. I wasn't angry at her, I was angry at him. And if she was anything like me, she deserved to know who she was really dealing with. Message sent. Hi Camille. I don't know how to start this, but I think you deserve to know something. I'm not trying to be cruel or messy. I'm Savannah. I've been dating Chase for the past year. I didn't know about you until last night. I'm so sorry. If you want to talk, I'm here. She didn't respond. In fact, she blocked me almost immediately. But 2 days later, I got a message request from a different account. It was her. Message received. I didn't want to believe you, but I looked through his phone while he was asleep. You're not lying. I saw everything. I feel sick. What followed was a long, heart-wrenching conversation between two women who had unknowingly built their worlds around the same hollow man. We swapped timelines, screenshots, and stories. Her heartbreak mirrored mine, but hers came with a deeper cost. She was about to bring his child into the world. I don't even know who he is anymore, Camille wrote. I replied, I'm not sure he ever knew either. Then she said something that stayed with me. Let's make sure no other woman falls for his lies. Ever again. The idea started as a bitter joke, but it grew into something sharper, more certain. Something that tasted like justice. We didn't owe Chase silence. And we weren't going to let him write our endings. People think revenge is about fire, loud, messy, and full of screaming. But the kind of revenge that sticks? It's quiet, precise, surgical. Camille and I knew we couldn't erase what Chase had done to us. But we could make sure he'd never get to do it again, to anyone else. The baby shower was already scheduled. Saturday afternoon. Big event space in Midtown. Her family, his friends, co-workers, even people from Camille's church were invited. He thought it would be a celebration of his soon-to-be fatherhood. We decided it would be the day his lies gave birth to truth. Camille sent me a digital invitation. "I'll call you my friend from the design agency," she said with a cold smile. I spent the next few days gathering receipts, screenshots of text messages, date stamp selfies, video clips of us cooking, cuddling, laughing. Each one proof of what Chase really was. Meanwhile, Camille did something I didn't expect. She played the role. She let him believe everything was fine. She kissed him on the cheek and sent him baby name ideas. He had no clue that the two women in his life, his pregnant girlfriend and his escape plan, were working together. The night before the baby shower, we stayed up at Camille's place, sipping mint tea and sorting photos into folders titled, "Me and Him versus You and Him." We laid it all out. The overlapping timelines. The identical gifts. The recycled compliments. How he told both of us we were the only person who understood him. At some point, I looked over at Camille as she scrolled through her own pictures, and I saw a tear roll down her cheek. She wiped it fast, like she wasn't allowed to feel broken in front of me. But I understood it. I was feeling it too. Even though we were exposing him, it didn't undo the truth. We had both loved a man who never existed. "I feel like I'm grieving someone who isn't even dead," she whispered. "He might as well be," I said. We both laughed. Bitter. Hollow. But it got us through the night. Saturday afternoon arrived. I wore a sleek navy jumpsuit, hair down, confidence on full display. Camille wore a soft blush maternity dress, glowing in a way only pain and purpose could create. The party looked like a Pinterest dream. Balloons, cupcakes with baby feet, little party favors that read, "Welcome, Baby Ross." Chase greeted guests like a proud dad-to-be. When he spotted me across the room, his face flickered with confusion. I gave a little wave. He started walking toward me, but Camille stopped him. "Babe, help me open the gifts first," she said sweetly, loud enough for everyone to hear. "We'll make it fun. Everyone, gather around." He looked back at me one last time, unsure, then smiled like the puppet he was. Box after box, people cheered. Then Camille picked up the final one, a simple white box tied with a silver ribbon. She looked at me. I nodded. "This last gift is from someone very special," she said. "Someone who's seen more of Chase than most of you ever will." She handed him the box. He looked confused. "What's this?" "Open it," she said, still smiling. Inside were printed photos of him and me, us kissing on his balcony, him asleep in my bed, a screenshot of a text, "You're the only one I trust, Savannah." The room fell silent. He laughed nervously. What is this?" "Keep going," Camille said, her voice firm now. "There's a flash drive, too." She turned to her cousin. "Can you play this on a projector?" He did. The room darkened. The screen lit up. Two lives. Side by side. Savannah and Chase. Camille and Chase. The same shirts. The same phrases. The same man. People gasped. His mother whispered, "Dear God." His co-workers exchanged stunned looks. One of Camille's uncles stood up and said, "What kind of man does this?" Chase stood frozen, mouth slightly open. "I can explain." "Don't," I said, stepping forward. "You already explained everything. Just not to the right woman." Then Camille dropped the final blow. "This baby will grow up with love. But he won't grow up watching his mother be lied to." And then she removed the ring Chase had given her, tossed it into his drink. The room erupted. Some people walked out. Others stayed, just to watch him fall apart. I didn't stay long. On my way out, I paused by the cake table, took a chocolate cupcake, and whispered to him as I passed. "You planned 2 lives, Chase. But you forgot one thing. Women talk." After the baby shower fallout, I thought I'd feel immediate relief. But that's the thing about emotional wreckage. Truth brings clarity, not instant healing. Camille and I had shattered Chase's illusion, but the pieces of ourselves still needed gathering. He tried calling. Of course he did. From different numbers. He even sent flowers to my mom's house. Once, he stood outside Jada's apartment building for nearly an hour. But he never rang the buzzer. Maybe he knew better. Maybe he finally realized I wasn't the same girl he had juggled like a backup plan. Camille filed for full custody before the baby was even born. She hired a lawyer, her cousin who specialized in parental rights. I helped her put together every file, every photo, every lie Chase ever told, all dated and documented. She looked at me one night and said, "You were never just the other woman. You saved me before he could break me completely." That sentence stayed with me, because for so long I thought being fooled made me weak. But standing next to her, I finally understood. The strength wasn't in escaping his lie. It was in exposing it. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. I got a message on LinkedIn from a senior partner at a boutique PR firm in the city. She'd seen a viral TikTok someone had posted from the baby shower. One of Camille's younger cousins had secretly filmed the moment the slideshow played. The video had racked up over 2 million views under the caption, "When the side chick and main chick team up." #double life exposed. At first, I was mortified. But then the message came. "You handled a personal storm with grace, clarity, and impact. We need that kind of bold storytelling at our firm. Are you open to talking?" I stared at the message, blinking. This woman saw value in my pain. I said yes. Within 2 months, I had a new job, better pay, and my own one-bedroom apartment. I started writing on the side, blog posts, short essays about healing after deception. I didn't use real names, but the emotions were raw, honest, and people connected. One post, titled "The Other Woman Was Me, Until I Became Someone Stronger," went viral. Emails flooded in from women across the country. Women who had been lied to, cheated on, gaslit, sidelined. They weren't bitter. They were just exhausted. And finally, they had a voice. Mine. Camille gave birth to a baby boy in late spring. She named him Isaiah. He had her nose and Chase's eyes. She texted me a photo and said, "He'll never know the man his father pretended to be. Only the truth and the village that raised him." I visited once. Held Isaiah in my arms. He slept quietly, peacefully, wrapped in a light blue blanket. And for the first time in months, I felt something I hadn't allowed myself to feel. Hope. As for Chase, he lost everything. His reputation tanked. His company demoted him after the video leaked. Turns out one of his bosses had been at the baby shower. Camille's lawyer made sure he wouldn't have full parental rights without court-approved therapy and strict visitation. But the most poetic part? The same women he manipulated came together, and he couldn't spin his way out of it. Not with charm. Not with silence. He created a double life. We gave him a double ending. So, what did I learn? That love doesn't mean losing yourself in someone else's story. That loyalty to a lie is still betrayal to yourself. And that sometimes healing doesn't come from forgetting what happened. It comes from owning the narrative and walking away stronger. My name is Savannah Blake, and I turned my heartbreak into a warning, my grief into a mission, and my story into power. Because when the truth finally came out, he lost everything. And I found myself. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Your support means everything. If this story touched you or made you think, please subscribe to our channel for more real, powerful stories.